The quality of how you allow yourself to wake up determines the quality of your day. If you didn't know, there is absolutely an order of operations when it comes to your self-care to ensure that you have a decent day. And I'm not even talking about great day. I'm literally meaning decent day. My name's Stefania, and I am a personal coach. And right now you're joining me on a walk with Roxy. And for the past 4 years, I've been experimenting with very simple ways to improve my mood, my overall productivity, without becoming a complete biohacking bro. Like, no offense to the biohacking bros, but like my target audience and their target audience are different people. I'm here for the humans. The ones who would like to live better, easier, and maybe even have a little bit more fun without having to go to a daily boot camp to exist in it. Anyways, in the last 4 years, there's a couple things that I've done that have been very effective. Number one, let yourself get up when your body's ready to get up. The thing is, your ego is going to get in the way. When I first started this, I was waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning. Everyone around me was like, oh my God, you need to check your blood sugars. And while that is something I could do, I was like, I'm just going to let myself get up. If my body is ready to get up, I'm going to get up. So for the first week, I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. But I want to take you down like 3 layers of detail here. Because at 3 o'clock in the morning, my body would be awake, but my eyelids were still closed. I did not force them open. I just acknowledged that, oh, I'm waking up, but my eyeballs aren't ready. And I would lie in bed until my eyeballs were ready, usually about 3:05. Then I would get up and I would eat breakfast. But Steph, that is nighttime. You shouldn't be eating that early. No, I'm just going to break my fast. I'm going to start my day. I'm going to pretend that 3 a.m. is no different than 7. I would eat 2 eggs, and at the time of me starting this experiment, I would eat some sweet potatoes or yams with that really delicious Japanese chili crisp. Maybe it was Korean. I don't know. I got it from a Japanese guy. And then I would read for a little bit. And I'm talking books that aren't about personal growth and development, but just genuine reading, which is a feat for me because I had been spending years only reading self-help, only reading nonfiction. So giving myself this little treat was something that was totally out of the normal. But I had the time for it. What else was I going to do at 4:30 in the morning? This dog is being a rather big jackass today. So waking up with my body, allowing myself to eat breakfast, and giving myself some pleasure reading was my normal morning routine for about a week. And then I started naturally waking up at 5 a.m. So I would repeat the same thing. I'd allow myself to acknowledge that my body was awake, even if my eyes weren't. Then when my eyes would open, I would get out of bed, and then I'd make breakfast, and then I would read, yada, yada, yada. What I found was that there was less tension in my body because I wasn't fighting what my body was guiding me towards. Now, for somebody else, you might want to work out. I don't work out in the mornings because it gives me a migraine. Working out in the late afternoons is usually my vibe, but everybody's different. But the lack of pressure and control on my system allowed me to feel more free in my day and actually gave me way more time. And I apologize if my eyes are darting over here. But the camera lens is there, but my eyes are there. It's very weird. Anyways, sometimes I fall off that practice and I get into these hurdles of beating myself up for waking up too early and, oh, I should be sleeping and, oh my God, this is too early to function, blah, 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 because my ego's activated. But if I just let that go and I allow my body to guide me to the directions of my life, shit's fucking easy. Now, flash forward a couple years, I've moved to Montreal. Obviously, you need to restabilize in your morning rituals and routines whenever there's a big change. And obviously, mine have fallen off. Case in point, yesterday, I didn't even have breakfast. I got up begrudgingly. Oh, there's a stranger in the background. Hold on. I got up begrudgingly. I took Roxy for a walk. I went and grabbed a coffee. And I felt like shit 100% of the day. I had no desire to eat lunch, no desire to eat dinner. I forced myself to eat something around 4 o'clock because I knew that I needed to. I went to go play volleyball, but I didn't have the energy to play volleyball. In fact, when I got up off the couch, stars. That's all I saw. See, the point is, I know what I need to do to have a good day, but they're so human and ordinary that my brain wants to make them more complicated. As if cooking for myself or going for a walk or at least eating protein before coffee is going to kill me, when it's actually just not. Most of our resistance to doing the things that take care of ourselves is entirely mental. Our minds have a perceived conflict as if the process of cooking is going to be this big drain or the outcome of cooking is going to be this big drain. It's not the act of cooking and eating that has a problem. It's the perception that there's a conflict of some kind. For myself, sometimes it's laziness. Other times it's an avoidance of an emotion. And if you've been around a while, you know that part of my addiction to Uber Eats was related to the avoidance of feeling lonely. Cooking for myself, eating by myself would just bring up all this realization that I'm fucking alone by myself with Roxy most of the fucking time. Now back to the fact of order of operation. The quality of how you allow yourself to wake up determines the quality of your day. The quality of how you cook your food determines the quality of your day. the quality of how you move your body, the quality of how you engage with your senses around the world. Are you rushed? Are you forced? Are you putting yourself through an intellectual boot camp just to do human shit? Because if you are, you're abusing your energy. Our energy isn't suited for blasting through the psychological hurdles, because the psychological hurdle itself is just an energy drain. When you start seeing your energy as a resource, a fuel for your transformation of any kind, you have to peel back and really acknowledge where maybe your energy is being misallocated to things that don't need all that energy. Force, pressure, obedience, and discipline if it has any layer of punishment inside of it. You can get up, be devoted, be excited about your life. Leave the pigeons alone. Where was I? Oh yeah, you can wake up being excited about your life and know that your energy is going to the truest thing at hand, as long as you keep your brain in check, because that meatloaf between your ears is just about focusing on survival, not thriving. But the thing is, the thing that it's trying to survive isn't fucking real. It's trying to survive loneliness. Here's an example. The avoidance of eating breakfast in the morning is to avoid the feelings of loneliness. Meatloaf perceives that loneliness will kill me, because on a primal level, being alone in the wilderness is not okay. Let's avoid the loneliness. Let's not eat breakfast. Meanwhile, my literal survival requires food. And I'm not in the wilderness. I'm in a house with a boatload of groceries. See, our brains are highly powerful machines. But if they're machines being used for the wrong thing, they kind of screw us over. Think of it like if you were to need a hammer, but all you have is a screwdriver. You can use the screwdriver to pound the nail into the board, but it's not going to be that effective. So you're better off to recognize that, well, you should probably go and get a hammer instead of trying to use that back end of the screwdriver on the nail. And maybe in your findings, you come across the mallet. It's not as effective as a regular hammer, but it'll do the trick for now. That's all we're doing, is trying to find tips and tricks to better suit the nails that we have to blow through different boards. You just have to recognize that you have an order of operations, and when you avoid processing through that order, you're actively choosing to not do what's best for you. My order of operations is how I wake up, how I nourish my body, how I move it. It doesn't need to be more complicated than that.